Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to explain to you how to access characters in a Python string. Accessing characters in Python string is really very easy. We can access a character of a Python string by using indexing. What I mean by indexing. In Python, if you define a string like this, each element of this string has an index. What that means? The first element of this string, which is in this case P, has an index 0. The second element has an index 1, the third element has an index 2, and so on. Be careful, even the space, you see this space has an index. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the space has an index 6. If I want to access any character of this string, I need to know what's the index of that character. And then I need the variable name, which is in this case S, square brackets, then I pass the index of the character that I am interested in. And this one is gonna return the character at this index. For example, if I want to access the first element, I need the variable name, square brackets, and then I pass 0 because the first character has an index 0. And this one is gonna return the first character, which is in this case P. Another important thing that I want you to know is that in Python, we have this index, which is I call positive index, start from the 0, 1, and so on. And we have another indexing, which is the negative indexing. And the negative indexing starts by -1 at the last element. So the last element have an index -1, the one before the last one is -2, and decrease till the beginning of my string. So in Python, each element or each character has two indexes, positive and negative. And you can use any one of these indexes. For example, if I want the last element, I need a variable name, square bracket, then I pass the index of the last element. In this case, the last element have two indexes, have the 17 and have the -1. Both of them is gonna return the last element. So the main message that I want you to know is that in Python we have two indexes for each element in a character. Both of them are correct, but sometimes it's more convenient to use the positive one and sometimes it's more convenient to use the negative one. Let us go to Jupyter Notebook and explain this concept. Now we are in the Jupyter Notebook and we define a very simple string that just run this cell, that's printed. And let's say that we want to access the first element, this element. And as I told you that we need the variable name, which is S in this case, and we need the square brackets, and then we pass the index of the first element. We know that the first element has an index 0. So we can pass 0, then we return the element. In the same time, we know that that element or any element in Python have two indexes, the positive and the negative one. We can pass the negative one, but in this case, if we want to pass the negative one, we have to know what's the index of the first element based on the negative indexing. That means we have to start, this is -1, this is -2, this is -3, -4, and so on, till we find the index or the negative index of the first element. And in this case, it's -18, and we return the same result. But it's more convenient if we need the first element to use the positive one because we know the first element have an index 0. Okay, let's say that we have another question. What is the last element of the string? If we ask about the last element of the string, and in this case, it's this one. We can use the positive indexing or the negative indexing. But in this case, it's more convenient to use the negative one because we know that the last element, without any counting, the last element has an index -1. So just pass -1 and we're gonna get the last element. So whenever you need the last element in Python, just pass -1 and you're gonna return the last element of your character. But if you want to use the positive indexing, you have to count, right? Or you have to know the length of the string, and we will know this one in another video. But if I want the positive indexing, I have to know what is the positive indexing. This one depends on the length of the string. Sometimes 18, sometimes 17, we don't know. So we have to count or we have to know the length of my string. In this case, I know the length of my string. It's the last element have an index 17. So we get the same result. But as you can see, it's more convenient to use the negative one because we know that the last element had an index -1. Let's say that we have this question. What is the character before the last one? So this is the character before the last one. If I want this one, which one more convenient to use? I can use the positive or the negative one. I would say that the negative one is more convenient because I know the last one is -1. So the one before the last one is -2. So without any counting, we just pass the -2, and this one is gonna return the n, which is the element before the last one. Hopefully that you get the point, but let me just summarize what we study in this video. So in Python, we have two indexes. We have the positive one, which start from the 0, and we have the negative one, which start from -1. This one start from the last element, and the positive one start from the first element. You can use both of them, but sometimes it's more convenient to use the positive one, and sometimes it's more convenient to use the negative one. Choose the one which is you prefer, or it's more convenient for you to answer your question. That's it about accessing characters in Python. There is more that we can know about Python. Hopefully to see you in another video.